Aces, please lift up the family for Ananda Lewis. May she rest in peace. When I saw this, like tears came to my eyes because Ananda Lewis, she passed away at 52 years old. And, before she passed, she was really open and transparent about um, how she was on a health journey prior to finding out that she had breast cancer. And she was really adamant about only using naturopathic and holistic means of, self healing and medicine and things like that. And it was only until it had progressed to the point where I think it was stage 4, but it had progressed so far that there was really nothing that she could do at that point. And she just passed today. And, in the grand scheme of things, you guys, 52 years old is so young. I mean, I just remember seeing her, as a kid on MTV, and she was a VJ, and she hosted, a teen summit for BET. And I remember just thinking, like, oh my gosh, like she is so fly. Like, she had like long, beautiful curly hair. She was gorgeous. She was really eloquent. And she just seemed like a lot of fun, because one thing, y'all know I'm a millennial. And so one thing that I used to love to do is come home after school and, you know what I mean, like catch up on MTV, watch the videos, BET, all that good stuff. And even though I was a little kid, um, I loved it. And, like her, Another like Lala Anthony is another really popular DJ that we grew up with. And just, I it's just amazing how quickly life passes. So my prayers and my thoughts are with her family. Let's go ahead and get into this complex article. It says Ananda Lewis, the former MTV video jockey and the host of the Ananda Lewis Show, has reportedly passed at 52 years old. Lewis's passing was announced Wednesday, today, June 11th, in a post on her sister's Facebook page. She wrote, "She's free and in his heavenly arms." Um, that's what her sister wrote. Lakimshi, I hope I said her name right. Lord rest her soul. Ananda Lewis got her start hosting BET's Teen Summit and rose to stardom in the late 90s as a VJ on MTV's programs Total Request Live and Hot Zone. See, I forgot she was on TRL because I was so used to Carson Daly, but Ananda was everywhere. Like, she was just such an inspiration to so many. She will be missed. She interviewed celebs from Brandy to Britney Spears and covered the 2001 passing of Aaliyah, her close friend. And I remember that. And I think when Aaliyah passed, I think I did shed a few tears. That was, almost 25 years ago. I mean, 2001, but we're like halfway through 2025. So I know that was 24 years ago, but 2026 will be here in 6 months, y'all. I mean, just time is like flying. I feel like, especially after the pandemic, it just feels like a blur. But they were really close. And Aaliyah is desperately missed, but I know Ananda will be as well. Gone way too soon, in my opinion, both of them. The New York Times called her the hip hop generation's reigning it girl in 1999, and she was. She was the it girl. 2 years before she went on to host her own syndicated talk show for one season. Now, I don't remember that. Write in the comments if you guys remember the Ananda Lewis talk show. I feel like everybody had a talk show for like one season. I think I remember Tyra Banks' show. It didn't last too long, but I think like Queen Latifah had a talk show as well for one season. I feel like everybody, tried it out, but I didn't get a chance to see hers. I'm gonna go back and see if I can. If there's someone like YouTube or whatever, you guys let me know in the comment section, please. The former television star shared last October that her breast cancer had metastasized and was at stage 4, according to People. She had been diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer in 2020. In a 2024 CNN roundtable, Lewis said that she opted against a double mastectomy despite her doctor's advice. That is heartbreaking because I feel like, if she would have done that, there's a good chance that she could have been here. You could always get your breast augmented, and Ananda did very well for herself. So I'm sure she had the resources to do so. I believe she had like her own carpenter, like a DIY show as well. She was like big in carpentry, but before she passed. But I feel like that could have been life saving. Man, I mean I know she did what was best for her, but she will be missed. She says, "quote My plan at first was to get out the excessive toxins in my body. I feel like my body is intelligent. I know that to be true. Our bodies are brilliantly made," Lewis said at the time. She says, "I decided to keep my tumor and try to work it out of my body a different way. I wish I could go back. It's important for me to admit where I went wrong with this." I'm glad, on one hand, I'm glad that she did admit, that she was wrong because she was a public figure, and I don't want people to think that that's going against your doctor's medical advice. Like if you discharge yourself out of the hospital and they write AMA on your chart, that means against medical advice, and that's obviously not advantageous to do so because doctors are specialists in their fields for a reason, right? They go to school for a very long time, earning terminal degrees. And so, if she had stage 3 and her doctor advised her, to get a double mastectomy, I really wish that she would have listened because cancer is one of those things where it doesn't just necessarily stay in one part of the body, right? Like we hear too often, that, it spreads, and in her case, it metastasized. So I feel like if she would have caught it at stage 3, there would have been, a higher percentage of a chance to save her life. Again, like I said, with plastic surgery nowadays, even with the double mastectomy, she could have, if she chose to, right? And of course, I'm speaking in hypotheticals here, but she could have, gotten uh, plastic surgery or some kind of augmentation to make her feel better as far as aesthetically, because again she was a very beautiful woman, and I'm sure that was probably something that bothered her. And as far as her body being intelligent, yes, our bodies are amazing, right? We're fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what it says in the Bible. I don't know if she, yeah, her sister said she's in the Lord's arms, so she was a Christian. So I absolutely agree with her in regards to that. Um, on the flip side, right? Physiology and biology is just that, and especially if she saw an oncologist or someone who specializes in cancer research, which I don't know if you guys know this, but there was huge layoffs in regards to cancer research recently by this current administration. So please take your health very seriously. And this just happened, I think earlier this week. So I know this was her situation was back in years ago, but um, if your doctor, if you find yourself with a serious diagnosis like this, and if your doctor is advising you to take a specific course of action, please, please, please listen to him or her. Please, do your research as well. But in addition to treating yourself holistically with naturopathic, because I'm all here for Eastern medicine and herbs and all that good stuff. But at stage 3 and 4, that is so serious and it's so life threatening. Um, so I really wish that like she said, she realizes unfortunately too late that she was wrong, and my heart just breaks. In an essay for Essence magazine published in January, Lewis wrote, quote, that prevention is the real cure. And she encouraged Black women to educate themselves about cancer risks. She says, quote, If I had known what I know now 10 years ago, perhaps I wouldn't have ended up here. Lewis and her husband, Harry Smith, brother to Will Smith, welcomed their son Langston in 2011. No, see, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna be on here sobbing because I can hear it in my voice and I can feel my like the tears, they start to get hot. So just please keep her husband and her son Langston lifted up in prayer. The whole Smith family, right? The whole Lewis family on her, her sister and her family on her side as well. And let's, take Ananda's voice and her message seriously. And she encourages all of us to take our health, much more seriously, especially, well, I can't even say just all of us. It doesn't matter the demographic. But yes, please, keep her family lifted up in prayer. And I will keep you posted if I hear anything, from her husband or, anyone else in her family. But yeah, she was such a light while she was here, and she will be missed. So, with that being said, I hope that you all have a wonderful Wednesday evening, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, Aces. Goodbye.